Hi, welcome to Alphachain. My name is Gavin, and in this tutorial, the goal is to bring you on board with everything that you need to be aware of on day one of your training program. Yeah. So you have joined Alphachain and you're day one on your program, and you are looking to now define what steps are needed to progress and to be able to complete the program to a high standard. So let's cover all the key points here in this session. So what I'll do is I'll be covering a short presentation, and once the presentation is completed, I'll go onto the training platform and I'll do a platform walkthrough on how to use MT4. There will be other areas that I may digress into, such as the community, TAN LMS, where your pre-recorded lecture videos are located, as well as our online file sharing service as well. Okay, let's begin with the presentation. Training benefits. Now, each of you will need to be aware of what are the benefits from completing the training program. Well, the first is, if you complete the training program within the defined start time and end time, so start date and end date, and you complete all the prerequisite material as required, you will gain access to a guaranteed starting capital. That capital naturally will vary depending on what program you're on, but please be sure that you are fully aware that you will receive guaranteed starting capital on completion, successful completion of your training program. Most individuals that come on board, they can apply up to 10 hours per week. And we generally define that 10 hours should be that threshold that you should look to aim to do on a weekly basis to ensure that you complete the program to a high standard. Okay, so that does mean that it is flexible. It can be done at your own schedule based around your own commitments, right, on an ongoing basis. So ensure that you apply a minimum of 10 hours per week to complete the program to a very high standard. And this can be done in line with your current commitments, whether you have a full-time or part-time job, or you might be in full or part-time education. The third part is, on completion of the training program, some of you may decide, okay, I'm purely here for the training and the development, so therefore that I can apply myself to a role and get my foot into the door of some institutions, for example, like many individuals in the past have done. This program is CPD accredited. Therefore, on completion, successful completion, you will receive and be able to download your own CPD certificate, and it will help you to boost your CV and increase your employability in the financial services industry. The fourth element to what we offer, and probably the most important, is real trading account experience. You'll be able to trade a live funded account, right? It's not a demo account. It will be a live funded account on completion of your training. Now, that exposure alone is going to give you a good head start in a career in trading. Yeah, it is important you remember, when you gain access to your live funds, you must look to develop a track record first, and then secondary is monetary growth. Okay, the track record is very important, because if you are looking to share your proven ability to other individuals, it could be to your own investors, you would need to share your track record, and your track record is going to show how you've performed over a time period. And generally, if there is a lot of volatility in your P&L, that may lead to less funding from others, right? So, and that's what we look at, and what we look to develop and hone our skill sets for our traders to be able to manage and reduce the volatility in their track record. So the most important thing when you do gain access to your live funds is develop a track record first, then look at monetary gains. Okay, moving on. Now, the implementation of the training, There are three core elements that you must be aware of on the training program. The first is having access to your online learning portal. Yeah, your online learning portal. Now, there will be a link provided within in one of the emails that we had sent over to you, as well as within your cohort channel. Please look to use that link to gain access to your learning portal. And on the learning portal, you will need to register. So you need to register and create your own account. Once you've registered and created your own account, let us know, let me know, and therefore I can assign your training program, okay? And your learning portal will look something similar to this. So we just bring it up. Here we are. This will be your learning portal, right? So it's Alphachain. It's www.alphachain.talentlms.com. Yeah. And once you're on here, you'll need to obviously register. So what I might do is if I, yeah. Okay, so as you can see here, the step will be is get started today for free. You need to sign up. Okay, you need to sign up. Click on sign up, as you won't have be a registered member so far. So sign up first, and then you can log in. Right, let me just do that now. Right, and come over to this bit. Right, and once you sign up, you may not see much on here, depending on what program you're on. Okay, so you might see something that's not your program. You might see a free introductory course, for example. Okay, but yes, upon you signing up, you notify myself, Gavin, or your mentors in the cohort channel. And then what we'll do is we'll assign your training program. Now, depending on what program you're on, you'll be assigned the right program. So if you're on the algorithmic trade program, then that's the program that you'll be assigned to. If you're on the cryptocurrency trade program, that's what's going to be assigned to you, and so on and so on. So yes, we'll assign you a program on day one of your training program. Move that over. Okay, so what happens within? What happens within? So you'll have access to, within your learning portal, pre-recorded lecture videos and presentations, reading material, assignments, tests, practical worksheets to upload, and of course, feedback on an ongoing basis. Yeah. So I'll give you an example of that, right? We'll go on to, for example, let's go into the cryptocurrency trader program. Okay. So this will be one example here. Right. So let's start with, you're going to see your program and it needs to be completed in sequential order. Go through some of the sort of the basics at the beginning there. There'll be sort of, quick to go through to cover. But the most important part before you begin your learning and your deep dive is please ensure you go through the day one requirements. Okay, so day one requirements. And within day one, you'll also find your weekly study guide. Now, this is important. We don't set a daily task or daily schedule. We set a weekly schedule and weekly tasks that you need to complete. So therefore, you can apply yourself around your commitments. Yeah. So ensure you review the weekly study guide, and that weekly study guide is going to give you a breakdown of what needs to be completed. For example, units within your program, right? What tasks need to be completed based on those units or weekly tasks, right? Yeah, so please ensure that you review the weekly study guide, and every single week you need to go through each week's study guide to ensure that you complete the program in a timely fashion. Yeah. Okay. So now moving on to the second element. The second element is having access to your communication portal. This is where you'll have direct access to mentors and experienced traders. You'll be part of the community, see what markets individuals are reviewing, read market updates, join webinar sessions, book in your mentoring sessions, have a group conversation with some of the traders that you've joined with. Yeah, so that's where a lot of the discussions takes place on an ongoing basis. As I mentioned, the most important part is those webinar classes that we offer on a weekly basis. There are 5 or more webinar sessions taking place each and every week. And also where you can book in your one-on-one mentoring sessions, okay? Where you can book in your one-on-one mentoring sessions. So what you'll see is this is your community portal. Yeah, this is the community portal. Let's start with the main channels that you need to be aware of. Okay, so Alphachain network is the main channel. It's within this channel that you're going to find, for example, our daily market reviews, daily market briefs of what you need to be aware of. There'll be charts and images that will be shared that would help you understand the markets from a macro standpoint to a technical standpoint as well. But mostly focus on macros and fundamentals generally in the Alphachain Networks channel, but also any updates from the team itself, from the management, to ensure that you're progressing in a timely fashion. Or if there's been any changes to, for example, risk management rules or whatever it might be, we'll create timely sort of videos and we'll share that with you on an ongoing basis. Yeah. Breaking news. This is your Squawk feed, which will give you all breaking news that you need to be aware of. So, for example, at the moment, the EU are in a meeting to work on another sanction on Russia in regards to an oil embargo. So yeah, that's something that was just released recently. That's led to a bit of a bullish move in oil. Moving on, crypto news. So what you need to be aware of in the crypto space and webinars. This is your key channel here, the webinar channel. This is where you would want to go to gain access to webinars that we do on an ongoing basis. Okay, so for example, did the weekly market analysis, equity market in rally mode, and the decoupling of Bitcoin, for example. This is done as a live stream also, but in our private forum, in our private sort of Zoom forum, it's where you can ask questions on an ongoing basis in these live sessions. Yep. Yeah, so ensure that you have access to this. Now you can see some of these are locked, which means that only certain members have access to this. So when you first join Slack, you may not see all of them, but we'll give you access to those at some point on day one. The performance coach channel as well, the performance coaching channel. So generally there are, for example, polls. There's lots of content shared from a psychological standpoint as well by Ron Williams, sort of admin within this channel here. Yep. And then we have the trading room. We have the trading room channel. This is where, again, there'll be shares in regards to market news. There'll be sort of, timely sort of charts that you need to be aware of on an ongoing basis, or technical charts are being shared. So yeah, this is the trading room where the entire community will share insights to markets. Please note, within the trading room, if you go to the top tab up here, this is where you'll find the Alphachain's file sharing folder. Okay, so there's a link there that will take you to the link to that folder. You need to put in the password here. Okay, so there's a password there that you need to use. And it's within this folder is where you're going to find many of the files that you need to have access to on an ongoing basis. So I'll just open that up. Yeah, just I'll open up a new page such as this. Then you'll put in the password. Right, no thanks. Right, and that's where you're going to see some of this key information here. Yeah. Now, for example, the get started file is something that you must review on day one. The get started trader guidelines, whatever the version might be, you'll only see the latest version within this form, this folder. So ensure that you review it's in capitals, get started. Yep, that's what you need to download. That's the first thing that you need to download, right? The second is, of course, the Alphachain risk management tool that you need to install on your MT4. But that can come later, right? That can come later. There is a separate video that I'll share on that. But ensure that you go through the get started file. That's covered in a separate video also. But this is your file sharing service. Yeah, there may be changes when you see this video. There may be changes, but just ensure that you go through all of it. There's a lot of content here. There's a lot of great content here for you to review. Okay, so yeah, that's where you gain access to your file sharing service. There's the password for access to that on an ongoing basis. Any changes, it'll be changed here, yeah, to this password. And then risk management license key. This is the code that you need, the license key that you need to gain access to your risk management tool. Yeah. Okay. So you've got trading room, and then some, you've got some of these private rooms here. You've got some cohort rooms, as you can see here. So April cohorts, March cohorts, May cohorts. You've got platform walkthrough. Again, some of these won't be necessary for you to have access to, right? These are sort of other private rooms as well. But with each of you, we will create a mentoring room or create a mentoring channel or group. So that's the first thing. And then the second would be is we will also create a cohort channel for you guys. Okay, so you will have your own cohort channel. Yeah, and this is a great place to sort of come on and where you gain access to sort of, the entire trading community. You'll receive questions and you can join webinar sessions and so on. So coming back to that trading room channel where you have access to the file sharing service, and this is where we put in technical charts and so on. Do note, if you're looking to book in a mentoring session, you have both links here. Okay, both of these links here. The first link is for the mentoring team. That's myself and the other mentors that we have on board with us. The second link is a direct link with Adam, the CEO of the firm. So if you want to speak to Adam, you can do. If you want to speak to myself and the mentoring team, this is the link that you would use to book this in. So I'll just click on this now. That will open up a page. As we're coming to the end of the month, let's view next month. And there you go. This is where you're going to see where you can book in your mentoring session. Yeah. So if you're a candidate undergoing the training, please book in your consultation early to ensure availability. These calls will be to assess your knowledge and where required to fill in the gaps, also to provide guidance on carrying out the training, areas of weakness and strengths. If you're a funded member, please book in your monthly consultation early to ensure availability. You must have a minimum of 20 trades to review your trading performance. Aim to have your performance updated on MyFixBook and share this link prior to your meeting via Slack. Yep. We will review your performance beforehand to define areas of strength and weakness. You can be specific to what you would like us to review, and please have your questions at hand before the consultation begins. Yep. So we look forward to speaking to you. So yeah, you just click on the link. You choose the day that you're available. So for example, we'll go on the 9th of June, and then you can book in your session directly. You click on the link. Okay, I'm available at 4 p.m. And then you click on confirm, and there you go, right? It should take you to a new tab where you can put in your name, your email. It's a 30-minute session, so you must be prepared of what you want us to cover in that 30-minute session. Yeah, and then you can directly schedule an event with us, a mentoring session with us. Okay. Yep. So yeah, that covers Slack. That covers the community access element. Let's move this out of the way. Right. Oh, not there. We'll move it to there. Okay. And then you want access to your simulated account or your live trading account. Yep. So simulated once you're undergoing the training program. Live trading account, of course, once you've progressed onto the membership, you'll be a fully fledged trader. This is where everything that we cover, whether it's an online learning portal, your pre-recorded lecture videos, or some of the webinars that we perform right, on an ongoing basis. Yeah. You need to apply this practically. It's the practical application, which is extremely relevant to developing trading skill. To ensure the practical application of that theory is applied from day one. Okay. Ongoing reviews of documents, trade live with proven strategies will be supervised by experienced traders and your mentors. Yeah. So we will come back to that. What I might do now is just show you what it looks like. This is what it looks like. Okay. So this is your MT4 platform, right? And this is what the third part of the implementation of trading covers. Yeah. Okay, coming back to PowerPoint. Let's move on. Yeah, so just again, a quick summary of the day one setup that you must have in order to progress. First thing is having access to your Talent LMS. Yeah, so create your user accounts, let us know, we will sign your program, and then you can begin your training. Having access to the demo trading accounts, so setting up MT4 on your platform, whether it's Windows or Mac. Remember, mobiles are not able to access MT4. Okay, so you can't be putting this on your iPad or your mobile phone, right? You must need a laptop or a desktop to be able to install MT4. And the third part is, of course, having access to your communication, right? Your Slack communication, where all the discussions, live sessions, mentoring sessions, webinars are taking place. Now, when it comes to trading platforms, your main account and your funded account will be provided on MT4, your execution account. That's what it's known as, right? But some of you may find that, hey, I like using a professional charting package in addition to the execution account, right? Which gives me access to more, for example, indicators, or gives me a much wider range of assets I can review as a back test, or it gives me assets from different exchanges, right? Rather than being limited to what we have on offer with MT4. So yes, if you're looking for a professional software package, some of the choices made by individuals are, for example, TT, or Trading Technologies, Optima, being the second option. Third option is CQG, right? But the fourth option, which most individuals actually tend to prefer, is TradingView. Yeah, most individuals will prefer to use TradingView as their preferred charting software. Now, the benefit of TradingView is it's a free service. There is a free account that you can have access to, and then there's, of course, the pro and the premium accounts that will require a subscription from you. But yep, starting with a free account is more than enough to get started with and see if that's the account that you prefer. A TradingView looks something similar to this. Yep. Please note, we're not affiliated with any charting software out there. So it's your choice what you prefer. Okay, it is your choice what you prefer. But this is the platform, what it looks like in regards to from a charting standpoint. Okay. Right. Okay, so as we come to the end, you must be prepared going forward, but let's start with ask questions. Please ensure you ask questions from day one. There is no such thing as silly questions, okay? We all know that some of you might have experience, some of you don't have experience. That's fine. And you can ask any question you feel that comes to your mind, okay? Let us know what you're struggling with, what areas you're weak in, where do you need guidance, right? And we can certainly help you make progress from that point onwards. Yep. What I don't want is individuals that don't share how they're feeling or what they're doing, and if they're behind, and they end up struggling and they ask me questions far later in the program. So they're asking, for example, week 1 questions in week 4 of the training program. And I'll be like, hey, what have you done so far? Right? So it's important that you stay on track, because the snowball effect can occur when you're undergoing a program such as this, where a lot of the work and the practical side of the work comes in later on in your program. Okay, so you must be on point from day one, right? And of course, the idea is that eventually when you transition onto the membership and gain access to your funds, you're still learning, you're still developing your skill set. So you need to then focus on aiming to learn whilst you're looking to earn, right? And as I mentioned, building a track record is key. It is substantial in your progression as a funded trader. Ensure whilst you're undergoing the training program, you do carry out your own research. That could be reading some of the books, part of our reading list. It could be watching some YouTube tutorials in regards to understanding and having a much more detailed understanding of a particular topic being covered. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with carrying out additional research. Now, each of you will at one point have a low point in your training program where you don't feel good, or the market is not trading the way that you thought that you could be trading. And that's why it's important that you need to persevere. Not every trade is going to be a winning trade. Not every day is going to be a winning day. Not every week is going to be a winning week. Yep. So just remember that you need to persevere and think about the long-term goals. Set realistic milestones of what you're looking to achieve on an ongoing basis. Yep. And the final point for me would be is practice, practice, and practice. Yeah. The more you practically apply what you've learned from a theoretical standpoint, the far greater you're going to do later down the road, the much more impact that's going to have in your development later down the road. Okay, so ensure you put in the due diligence, right, of first understanding the theoretical concept. The second is then applying it practically and doing it regularly, right? So consistently. Okay, so ensure that you continue to practice, and putting in deliberate practice, really stressing how well you're applying that theoretical concept from a practical standpoint is what's going to lead you to become a much better trader. Yeah. And of course, as you'll be completing ongoing tasks and worksheets, those worksheets are evidence for us that you can practically apply what you've learned. And therefore, we will review that on an ongoing basis. Where required, we'll give you guidance, and then you can move on to the next step. Okay. So a summary before we transition over to the MT4 trading platform. Understand the theoretical concepts and ensure that you apply deliberate practice of those theory, right? So those concepts must be applied practically on an ongoing basis from pretty much day one. Yep, you're going to be doing that from day one. You're looking to build your virtual trading experience amongst professional traders. Now, you know, everything we once did on the trading floor is now done virtually. We do team meetings on a weekly basis. We do live webinar sessions. We do market calls, so traders can hop in on a call and discuss what they see in markets, and we discuss what we're seeing in the markets, right? So it's a way of getting to know other traders, having a real community feel and a team dynamic, but it's all done remotely. So you must be proactive in seeking and joining these sessions. Of course, you're going to gain access to some of our proven trading strategies that you could emulate, but do note you need to create them and make them your own edge in the markets. Okay, so you must have a detailed view of the type of strategy that you want to apply, and it must be back tested, forward tested, and before you go on to progress onto live trading. Yeah, as I mentioned, the back test is very important. It's going to validate how well the strategy is doing based on that market condition that you're actually testing it in. Okay. So yeah, you'll be doing a back test at some point. Build a trading plan, and we're going to help you build a trading plan. You can do it with guidance, with our view and our feedback to your trade plan as well. And of course, having ongoing support. You can send us a direct message on Slack, 24 hours, 7 days a week, and you're going to receive a response. How are you doing? And to the question that you've asked. Okay, so we're going to sort of certainly respond back to you in a timely fashion. So ensure you do reach out when you're at that point where you have those questions. Okay, and of course, finally, having access to live capital on completion of the training program. Now, this is an important point here. You must complete the program within the specified time period given. Okay, between your start date and your end date. All prerequisite material must be completed by the end date for you to progress onto your funded account. So ensure that you apply the right amount of time from day one. Yeah. Okay, that covers the presentation part. Now we'll move on to the platform itself. Let me shut this down. Don't need that. Okay, so looking at your trading platform, once you've gone through the installation steps of MT4, you open it up for the first time, you'll see something like this. I might just, let me do it this way, top window, just like that. You'll see something like this. Okay, when you see something like this, you may not even see, for example, some of the assets you could trade as well. So there might be a limited amount of assets that you see, amount of symbols that you see. You'll see a chart like this, you might see a trade terminal, and so on. So let's go through sort of, how you'd go about setting up, right? So we'll start from the top here. So under file is where you can go. And for example, open data folder will be used to insert any external any expert advisors or external indicators you want to add to your trading, right? So you can go to open data folder, and that should open up, for example, this folder here. You go to MQL4, and this is where you can insert, for example, indicators, right? You can see some of the indicators in there, expert advisors expert advisors also. Yeah. Okay, so that's that. To open up a new account, a new demo account, if you wanted to do that, so you can open a demo account. You have two choices. Ensure that you're on the right server. Okay, ensure that you have access to the right trading server with Alphachain. For the demo server, it's Alpha Global Markets -demo. And for the live account, it's Alpha Global Markets -live. Yep. So you should be looking for Alpha Global Markets Limited, LTD. Okay. Now you click on next. You create a new account, or you can log into your existing account. It's up to you. Click on new, and that's going to take you, for example, something like this. So Gavin, put in an email, put in your phone number. You don't need to do nothing there. The deposit, you might have a choice, or you might not have a choice, but that's fine. Yep. Leverage is fine. Leverage should be 100 to 1. I agree to move on, and then click on next, and that's automatically going to set up your account. Okay, and then the next window is going to give you your credentials, meaning your login and password. Ensure you save that. Make sure you save that, whether you take a snapshot of it and save that picture, or you copy the details over to a Word document and store that somewhere. Okay, there's not much else that you need to be aware of in regards to this here, right? View, this is sort of looking at the view that you can have. For example, mark your watch window. You can see that there. Data window. Yeah, so we'll bring up mark your watch again. That's mark your watch. Data window, navigator terminal, which is that bottom bit there. Strategy tester, charts. Again, so that's what you see over here, right? So sure you go through this as well. Full screen, that just makes it a full screen there. So something like that, right? If I switch it back to how we want it. For now, I'm just going to remove the data window. I'll just keep it like this. Moving on, insert. So insert indicators. This is where you're going to find your indicators list, right? So that's some of the indicators that you can apply: trend-based, oscillators, volume, and some custom indicators, should we say, right? Charts. This is some of the sort of tabs or features to the charts that you see, whether it's zooming in and out, auto scroll. Want to see the volume, have a grid. So we can remove the grid for now, for example. Yeah, so I don't want the grid. So ensure that you go through that. Tools, again, this is where you can go to place new order or go to the options tab here, for example, right? So under options is where you can see where you can sort of apply expert advisors. Yeah, this is, you know, signals and so on, so, right? You're not often going to be using that anyway. But to place a new order, you click on tools, new order. That's where you can execute a trade, or you click on this tab here, new order there. Yeah. So yeah, tools. And the window is where you see this, for example. So this is where I could have tile windows. So if I've got all these open tabs, you can see at the bottom here. I could do tile windows such as this. So you see all the tabs on one go. You could do a cascade. Yeah, tile horizontally, vertically. Yeah, it's up to you how you want it, right? Arrange icons, it's your choice, right? So we'll just do tile windows, and I'll just do full screen to this, for example. Yeah. Help with, well, I don't need to really go into that so much. So that's where you go. If you have help, generally you'll come to myself or the mentoring team if you need further guidance. And some of these tabs are what we just covered in under these tabs here, right? So zooming in, zoom out, tile windows or not, right? Yes, this is a shift and scroll. Indicators over here, looking at different time frames. So we're on a 5-minute time frame. You can use that, or you can use one of these here. So I want to be on the 1-hour time frame, for example, or I want to be on a 5-minute time frame. And again, this is some of the templates that you can save, right? So I'll come back to, where was it, the Oz, I believe, there. Yep. What I might do is I might just open up a new chart window. Okay, so this is what you're going to see when you first start out. Yeah. What you're seeing here is it doesn't look visually appealing. So what you need to do is you need to make some adjustments. First thing you could do on the chart itself, right click, remove the grid if you like, or if you like the grid, keep the grid. It's your choice, right? I'm going to remove it for the time being. Second thing I want to do is I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to zoom in, and right now what we're looking at is bar charts. And what we prefer visually from a visual standpoint, when we're doing chart analysis, is candlesticks. We prefer candlesticks over bar charts. So you would click on this tab here to change it from bar to candlestick. We don't want a line chart because that doesn't give us other information such as the high, the low, and the open of the candle. It only gives the close. Bar chart does give that information, but you need to really zoom in to visually view where the open and the close was within the high and the low of that bar range. But candles are a little bit more cleaner and easy to understand, easy to read, right? So you'll see something like this when you click on candles. Again, this might not be your preference to you, for example. Yeah. So what we might do is then right click on the chart, click on properties, and then we can make some adjustments here. Okay, you can make some adjustments here. You can change the background. If you want a white background, you want a dark background, it's your choice, right? Foreground as well, so what you see here, it's in white at the moment, so the numbers and sort of the dates that you see, you can change those lines if you like. The grid, we've removed the grid, so I don't need to change the color there. Bar up, so I want the bar up to be, yeah, I'll go with sort of the lime. I'll also go lime there. No, actually, no, bar up, I want that to be lime green, right? Bar down, I want that to be a red, so we'll go with red there. A bull candle, so bullish candle, I want that also to be a green, so we'll go with lime, right? And then a bear candle, I want it to be red also, so we'll make that adjustment there. And I think that's it really. I don't need to do much else. Click on OK, and there we go. That changes things a little bit there, right? And what you can do, you can then right click, you go to template, and then you save this template. And you can call it, I don't know, basic layout or new layout or whatever you want to save it to, because the next time you open up a new window, so for example, if I want to open up a new chart window, I don't have to go through all those steps again, right? I can just simply right click, go to template, and I've called it basic. I click on that, and there we are. It's made all the changes there and then. Yep. And part of that could be indicators. If you want certain indicators on the chart that you want with every chart that you open, you can save it as a template, and you can sort of have that every time you open up a chart. So for example, Bollinger Bands, something like this, right? Next time I open another chart, let's just say I've opened this chart here, chart window. I want to look at the same template. Instead of me applying it all manually, I can go back to this, and there you go. I have that as a template. Yep. Hopefully that makes sense, guys. Hopefully that makes sense. There we go. We'll stick with this for now. Right. Yeah. That covers on how to make adjustments to your screen and the chart itself. Now, coming back over to the symbols. Remember, you may only see limited symbols, right? You can only trade the assets based on two key variables. The first being the program that you have enrolled on. So if you're doing a crypto only program or an FX only program, or you're doing a global trade program, you will have different assets you will have access to. Okay, so crypto traders will only have access to cryptocurrencies, for example. Yeah, so ensure that you only trade according to the program that you have joined. That's the first point. And the second point is to find out the individual securities or individual symbols that you can trade per program. Then you need to look at the tradable asset list. Okay, so look at the tradable asset list, which is in another video that has been covered and will be shared with you. But let's assume that, okay, I'm looking for some markets that I can trade based on my program and the tradable asset list, but I can't find them here. What do I do? Well, just hover somewhere else, right? So just hover somewhere around the symbol list, right? What I'll do is I'll remove the navigator. No, I'll just keep it there for now. So right here, I want to right click. When I right click, I see all this information. So I can do hide all assets, right? And usually it's not going to hide the ones that I've opened though. It won't hide the ones I've opened. If I close these windows, then it will hide it all, right? So it will hide. So it's just remove the ones that I did not open any of those charts. But anyway, you could even do show all to see all the assets. So for example, something like this, and that's going to show you every single asset that you could potentially be trading, right? I may now need to do that, right? But what we want to do is, if I just do this, is I want to hide all again, come back to the assets that I'm focused on. And what you're going to see is the bid price and the ask price. Right click again. I want to go to symbols, right? If I click on symbols now, that brings up the list of assets that I can look at, right? So you can see we have majors. That's where you're going to see your major FX pairs. Exotics, well, we don't offer exotic pairs to trade, but some of your cross-currency pairs are going to be listed in exotics. Commodities and indices, so you can see some of the metals and some of the equity indices that you could trade here, oils, and then crypto. And there's two lists of cryptos: your majors, which is the crypto list, and the crypto 2 list is all the other altcoins on offer with Alphachain. Yeah. So yeah, so for example, we'll go into crypto, and let's say that I wanted to add Litecoin. So I can just double click here, and now that's been added to the list of assets that I'm looking to trade. Close this. Yep. So I'll just do that again. Right click on the chart, go to symbols, and that's where you're going to see all the assets. Double click here, or you unclick, and it's grayed out now, and it's been removed. Right. So now we'll open it up. There you go. I see USD. And say, yeah, open chart window. Going to see that again. Right click, go to templates, go to basic layout, and there you go. Right, we'll go right to the right edge. You click on that tab there. Yeah, and that's how you want to ideally see the markets you're looking to trade, right? Okay, so now when it comes to a navigator, it's going to give you your account details, so your account information here. You're going to have some of the indicators that you could use. You're going to see your expert advisors. Under your expert advisors, we're going to see your risk management tool, okay, which is covered in a separate video. But this is where you can take the risk management tool and add it to your chart and then place trades using the risk management tool. Okay. But yeah, what we'll do now is at the bottom here, you see your balance, you see your equity, free margin. Let's place a trade. So for example, let's say in Litecoin, we're looking to buy. We'll click on new order. We'll put in a buy, and I want to place a stop loss. Let's say I'll put a stop loss below the 60 handle. Right, so stop loss below 60 or at 60. We're looking to buy 0.3 lots. We'll click on buy, and that's been filled. If I just zoom out, and you can see my stop loss. My stop loss is in place. My target's in place. I switch over to a daily time frame. Yep, that's what you're seeing trade-wise. So the bottom here, you see the time and date the trade was executed. You see under the terminal, it was a long position, so buy. The size of the position, 0.3 lots. The symbol, so the asset I'm trading. The price I entered, where my stop loss is. I haven't applied a take profit, so that's something that you can add to it. If I was looking to add a take profit, let's just say I'll put it up there. Now the take profit's been added, 86.53. Yep. And what is the current price? The commission cost, any swap cost, which is the overnight holding cost, and then of course the P&L of the trade, right? So yeah, that's what you're going to see in regards to the trades that you have going on. Okay. But please note, there is a specific way that you must place your trades, and that's using the position size calculator, okay, which is the Alphachain risk management tool that you must add to the charts, right? I may cover that a little bit later, but then there is a separate video that covers that also. So if I go down to the 1 hour time frame, focus on here, and that's what we're seeing in trade-wise. Now, do note, you can make adjustments to these levels, not the entry, of course, but you can make adjustments to your stop loss and TP as and when you decide. Okay, so for example, if I want to put a new stop loss, or I'm going to change my stop loss, I can just move it like that, or I can just move it closer like that. It's up to you what you want to do there. I'm just assume that, okay, I'll move my stop loss there. And where you can see, if I drag the stop loss and I'm hovering over there, you could see what the USD is, the value of the stop loss, right? So if the market reaches the stop loss level, I've lost just under $2, for example. Yeah. And TP, again, we've got a TP that's quite far away at this moment. It's there. I can drag that in. And I can say, okay, I want to put a TP there. I want to put it there. It's up to you, right? And you can also see the value of that TP. It's around $3 or just over $3.30. Yep. You can even do it again. If you want to drag it from here and change it like that, you can do so. If you want to drag it from entry point downwards, you can do that also, the stop loss, right? And that just changes the original stop loss. Okay, so yeah, it's quite easy to navigate once you're in the trade, how you want your stop loss and where you want to move your stop loss to from a technical standpoint. So yeah, that's the good thing about it. If you want to close partial positions, so what I'll say, close some of the position out, double click on the chart, on the terminal and the tab of the asset you're looking to make adjustments to. And what you don't want to do is click on another sell, right? Because we're going in long doesn't mean that if I click sell, it's only going to close a small position. right? Let's say I want to close out 0.1 out of 0.3. So there's 0.2 remaining, right? I don't just do this and then click on sell, because what that'll do is create two trades. Then I have one long and then I've got a short trade on at the same time. This is a hedged account. Yeah, you can apply hedging to this account, right? That's not what to do. If I click on buy again, that's only going to increase the position size, right? What you want to do is click on this tab here, close this amount of the trade. So when you click on this, as you can see now, the position size has changed from 0.3 lots to 0.2 lots. So that's how you modify the trade you're in and reduce the position size of that trade. Yep. Let's have a look. If you're looking to apply an automated stop loss, right? You want the stop loss to trail every time it moves a pip or moves 20 pips, whatever it might be. You can right click on the stop loss. You go to trading stop loss, and you can, at the moment it's got none, you can set every time the market moves 15 points, I want the stop loss to also move up by 15 points in my favor. It's never going to move against you. It's only going to move in your favor. So that's something that you can set. There you go. That's been automatically set now. So if the market moves 15 points, their stop loss will also move up by 15 points. Yeah. You can go to custom and you can set your own amounts, right? So you could do 1 point. Well, I think there might be a minimum that you could do, but yeah, so you can sort of define the minimum is 15 points on this anyway, right? So we'll say 15. Yep. Right click. Is there anything else that I wanted to cover? So none. I'll just keep this as it is. Okay, yeah. Right. So let's now close this position. What we'll do is apply some indicators. So when you look to apply indicators, what you can do is simply just click on here. And let's just say we're going to apply a moving average. So we're going to moving average. And then it opens up a settings tab. And this is where you can highlight the parameter or the period of this moving average. So I'll say 20 period moving average. I don't need to make it, I need shift. It could be a simple, exponential, smooth, linear weighted. It's up to you. So we'll go with, okay, we've got exponential moving average. And it's based on the close, or you can have it based on the median, the low. It's up to you, right? How you want it, right? So we'll keep it as standard as on the close. Line, the type of sort of, color that you want to associate with this moving average, this indicator. So we'll go with this yellow. The type of line that you want to apply and the thickness of the line can be selected here as well. So we'll go with that. And there you go. That's a 20 period moving average applied to the charts here. And you could do the same thing for all the other indicators that you find on this list here. Yeah. So you could do that with volume. So we should do it with volume, add volume, up, down. Yep. So we'll do something like that. Yeah. And there you go. So I've got now volume applied, and I've got a moving average applied. And again, you could save this as a template. You could save it as a template. And then every time you open up a new chart, you'll see the same template. So yeah. Okay, so that now applies the indicators. So a quick look through. Yeah, I think that's about it. So you can also find your assets, your symbol list here as well. So if you click on this over here, these are some of the assets, but only the ones that you're looking to sort of, open, right? The ones that are opened here are the ones that you can see in this list here. Right? If you want to switch over, these are profiles so that you can have certain sort of multi-chart layout opened at the same time. So it could be, say, for example, all euro pairs, for example. And that's just going to pick, have euro tabs all open, right? So if you're just trading euros, you can have only euro. It could be in 3 different time frames, right? So euro dollar on the daily, 4-hour, 1-hour time frame, you have it in a specific way, and yeah, so you just sort of alternate through them, right? And then you can go into a different profile where you're looking at just the pound in a similar way on different time frames, and yeah, you can create them as a profile because they all have their indicators and all the charts in a specific setting. Yeah. Go back to default. Yeah, so that covers some of the sort of key tabs and key parts that you need to be aware of in regards to MT4. The final point will be is using the Alphachain risk management tool, right? So looking at applying the Alphachain risk management tool. So once you've gone to File, Open Data folder, you then need to go to MQL4 and then Experts, and then you need to insert this file here. Okay, so you need to insert this file here, Alphachain risk management.ex4 file here. Once it's inserted here, then you need to just, you can, under Expert Advisor, right click, refresh, hit refresh, or you could just close the platform down, and open it up again. Right? It's up to you. It will refresh then as well. Yeah. Once you've done that, then you just drag and drop this on the asset you're looking to trade. And then what you need to do is insert the license key. You need to insert the license key. And as mentioned, the license key is within your trading room channel, right? So you're going to find it there. Copy, paste, press OK, or you may need to type it up. And you'll see something like this. Yeah. Indicator list. I'll just remove volume for now. So you click on delete. That's how you remove it, right? So you go to right click, you go to indicator list, and that's where you see your secondary indicators. If you're looking at objects, that could be sort of trend lines and things like that. Let's show you what that is. So that's these tools here, right? So if I'm looking at these tools here, right? The crosshair, this crosshair here, I can click and drag from here, right? And it's going to show me the pip difference, the price I've dragged it to, and this is, you know, something that you can use to sort of measure out some of these markets here, right? This is a vertical line, horizontal line. So you click there, apply a horizontal line there, for example. That's your support level. Trend line, you can apply a trend line. You can say, okay, you've got a nice potential trend, something like that. Yeah, we have a board trend there. So there's a high highs and high lows. And you can sort of apply Fibonacci where required. You can draw text, you can draw a text label, you can add some arrows or thumbs up or whatever you'd like to do. But yeah, that's where you could carry out some of the primary analysis. And then you right click here, go to object list, and then you can delete that as well. So you can just click on here, click on all of them, or you can show all or edit all, click on delete, and then delete, and that removes those technicals as well. Yep. Okay. So once you have your risk management tool, you may see this occurring. That means the chart's on top of your indicator. So you now need to change that to the foreground, right? So untick the foreground. So right click, go to properties, and then go to common. And then where you see chart on foreground, you untick that, click OK, and there you go. And it's the background. Okay. So we'll go long again. So we want to go to the position size calculator. The risk that I want to take, the risk can be, say, 0.5%. I want to take 0.5% risk. I don't need to apply a percentage. I just put in the digits. And it's going to be based on my account size. It's going to be based automatically from my account size. And I want to go long. If you're looking to go long, you look at the ask level, the ask price. If you're looking to go short, you look at the bid price. Okay, so we're going to go ask price. And then I want to place a stop loss. And the stop loss, let's just say I'll place a stop loss just below this low here. So we'll say 64.25, 64 spot 25. Calculate. It's going to tell me the lots I can execute this trade, the amount of dollar exposure I have, and the amount of risk that I have on this trade, right? So, for example, this trade in dollars, the risk is $110, just under $110. So you can use this tab here, right? Or you can do this tab here, the ticket window. So again, we put in the information. So I want to enter lot size wise. We want to enter at 40, not 49 lots. My stop loss is at 64.25, 64 spot 25. And then we're looking to buy, click on the trade, there we are. That's the trade. So stop loss at 64.25. And you can see if I hover on the stop loss level, profit, well, in this case, it's going to be obviously a loss if market reaches here. It will be a loss of $106, which pretty much just in line with what we have here. Actually, the market has moved whilst we're going through this tutorial. Yeah? And that's where your entry price level is. And that's it. We have the trade running now using this calculator. Yeah. And then we come over to risk exposure to manage the trade on an ongoing basis. Okay. So to manage the trade, you'll see, the amount of trades I have in place, one trade, total lots executed, total risk, total USD exposure on this trade. Yeah. And let's assume I cancel my stop loss. I don't place stop loss, and all of our traders must have a stop loss. So you should have a stop loss with all your trades. You're going to say use stop loss in all trades. That's what you're going to see there. If you go into the individual trade exposure, so again, trade with no stop loss. So it's going to warn you, you must place a stop loss, right? So we put a stop loss and it puts it in again. Yep. Do note your maximum risk of all open trades is 1%. Your maximum daily loss limit is also 1%. Let's put in 1% there. Your max USD exposure risk is 2x your starting balance. So if you're on $10,000 account, then your max dollar risk is $20,000. If you're, for example, on a $20,000 account size, then your maximum USD exposure is $40,000. So let's go with 40. There we are. Now let's assume that you've gone over, right? If you've taken a couple of more trades, let's just say I've put in another, I'll put in a silly trade. Let's say I'll put in 100 lot size trade on, click on buy, and there we go, right? And I've not placed a stop loss. Right, that's the first thing. I've not placed a stop loss. So again, I'm breaking the rules straight away, right? If I come back to risk exposure, the total USD exposure is only 8,000, so that's not quite met the 40,000 sort of level there. And because I've got, let's just put a stop loss. There you go. So I'll put a stop loss in place. And you can also see, if I go into percentage, right, my max risk at any one time is 1%. Actually, now my total risk is over that 1.86%. It's hovered. It's colored red now. Again, I'm breaching the rules. Yeah. So ensure that you go through the risk management rules to really understand how to place trades correctly. There is a separate video that goes into the detail of this as well. But this ensures that you don't breach rules and you're trading with good risk management throughout. Yeah. Okay. When you first look to use this for the first time, you'll see it. You might not even see it. If you don't see it, you click on this tab here, this down sort of tab that you see there. So you click on that and you see sell, buy. So you want to buy when you go long, you want to sell when you want to go short. And you can see you can identify or place this lot size you want to execute this trade. If you're using it for the first time, when you first click on buy, it's going to open up a enable tab, or an enable window. So you need to enable it for the first time. So you click on you tick the button and then you click on OK, and then you need to place the trade again, right? But thereafter, you only do it once. You only need to enable it once. But yes, it's a way to quickly take trades, but ideally we want you to take trades in line with how we cover it within our risk management sort of rules video. Okay, fantastic. So what have we covered today, guys? What have we covered so far? We've gone through the presentation in regards to what to expect as you progress through your training program. We've also gone through the platform in regards to how to use this trading platform. Now, this is the most important time that you spend now, is that you actually going through this platform and just explore everything that you can on this trading platform, right? Through mistakes is where you're going to make the best learning. Always remember that, okay? Through mistakes is how you're going to learn and become a better trader. So it's okay to make a mistake on, taking a high risk trade or being able to take a trade correctly and things of that nature, right? But it's important you begin from day one. Don't leave it to the last minute. So yeah, do look to sort of explore how to use this platform by taking lots of trades, by clicking on some of the tabs over here you see and applying and seeing what it does, right? So do look to do that. There's loads of indicators that you can explore as well, as mentioned, right? So you can sort of go through those indicators. Again, that's going to be covered in your TA part of the program as well. Going through the risk management tool, again, there's a separate video. I'll share that with you shortly. Yeah, so just explore, test, trial, different types of sort of ways of analyzing the market and using this new software, MT4, going forward. Yeah, I think that covers all sort of key elements there already. I think ensure that you spend the time to really understand how to use this platform, make those mistakes early on, because later on you can focus on sort of other core elements to your development as a trader. And I wish you the best on your program. Yeah, as it's day one, the first starting out, you're getting to grips with sort of a lot of new platforms. So yeah, ensure you do your due diligence, apply the time that is required to pick up all these key elements. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. Okay, so reach out to us through the community, through the communication portal, and we'll be readily available to help you where required. Yeah. Okay, thank you for joining in this session, and I'll speak to you guys soon. Bye-bye.